Hey neighbor, Alicia Dolan here at Creating in My Corner. I'm so glad that you're joining me tonight. We are going to be making some really cute cards for our card class tonight. I know I was a minute late. I was trying to do some last minute research. I hope that you are finding me okay and that you're ready to make some cards with me tonight, or if you're watching later that you've come for some inspiration and that you find it. I was just trying to wait to see if anyone logged in or commented, and I don't see anyone yet. But hopefully we're live because I have two really cute, some really cute ideas to show you. So one of the cards tonight we're going to case, and I made this card as a swap for one of my meetings tonight. This is the card. It's really cute. This is going to be our second card. And the first one I did not make earlier. It was a mystery card. So if you know a little bit about Stampin' Up, everyone is on a team, and I have a really wonderful team leader. Her name is Michelle, and we have a meeting once a month. So if you're on my team, you can actually go to her meetings too. And, oh, hold on. There's a little ad coming up. I don't need that. All right, and I am going to turn the camera around and we'll go ahead and get started with our card. So we have two cards to make tonight. One is, it was a mystery card, and so I'm gonna try to make that for the first time while we're online together. And the other one is the one I just showed you, and we're going to case that one. So I am gonna turn the camera, not the camera off, but I am going to turn the sound off while I adjust the camera for just a moment. So bear with me. I don't have any like fancy elevator music that plays. So just hold on a second. I have decided that I probably need to do more videos just to figure out what the best angle for the camera is and that kind of stuff. I haven't done it yet, and I don't have a lot of time during the week usually to just to go live and play around and have fun stamping or with my camera angles or any of that. So sometimes our Sunday stamping time is time that I use to make those adjustments. So if you do videos and you have any suggestions for me about lighting or camera angles or what software to use, any of that, I am definitely open to suggestions. Okay, so our first card that we're going to make tonight is kind of a fun fold card. And I just need to find my directions. Okay, and so this is our designer series paper, and this one is from the Earth and Elegance paper. It's I'll be honest, it was not my favorite at first, but I love everything blue, and there were a lot of wonderful shades of blue in this, and so that's why I chose it. But tonight we're actually going to make this the outside of our piece. So if you're stamping along, you're going to want to cut your designer series paper at 4 1/4 by 11. And I've already cut mine, as you can see, 4 1/4 by 11. And then we're going to turn it to the side. And we are going to score it 2 3/4 from each side. 2 3/4 inches. I guess I should say that just in case you're watching and you prefer centimeters. So 2 3/4 from each side. Okay, and then our sides will fold in like this. And we can press those with a bone folder. And I was thinking about the cards that we've been making, and I'm definitely gonna be slowing down with the Christmas cards as far as themes go. However, if you have any requests or suggestions about techniques or different folds that you'd like to see, let me know that in the comments, or you can always send me a message and let me know. So our card now goes like this. Actually, I think let's see, do we want the light part at the top? I think so. So we're going to leave it that way. And then we're going to need a piece of very vanilla cardstock. Now, if your paper is a different color, you may want a different piece for your inside. And we're going to cut this at 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, and this piece is going to go on the inside of our card right here. And let's see. I want on the inside, let's see. Excuse me, I use my Stampin' Cut in a Boss machine, actually my Big Shot, because that's what I have right now, not the Stampin' Cut machine. But I cut out these little circles that are from the Stylish Shape set. I thought there were 2 here, but it looks like maybe there's only 1. All right, and what I want to do on this little teeny circle is stamp. This is the stamp set that we're using first. So it's called Coffee with Friends. And if you know me very well, coffee is something that makes me happy. It's not something I have to have. I actually did a detox one time, and it lasted for 10 days. And I didn't have any coffee or any sugar during those 10 days. But coffee is definitely something that I enjoy, and so I have gone back to drinking it. I don't drink as much as I did before then, most days. But coffee with a friend is something that I can almost never turn down. And it's really more about the friend part than the coffee part. So before, I used to when my kids first started school, when they both first started school, I still stayed home most of the time, and before I had a part-time job, that was what I did. And so every week, well, maybe not every week, but pretty close, I would like to go and meet up with a friend and have coffee and just kind of talk about where we were and what we were struggling with, and just kind of encourage each other. And so that time was really important to me. All right, now this is a teeny tiny stamp, and you can see that I'm using a really little block. And I'm going to try and center this on a teeny tiny circle. I don't think this circle is even an inch in diameter. It's just it's the teeny tiniest one in that stamp set. I mean, in the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, and I don't see any comments yet tonight, so I hope that you're not. Oh, it looks like maybe you're commenting and I'm missing it. Janelle, I was a minute late tonight, or maybe even 2 minutes. I don't know. I was like last minute gathering up all my things. Okay, so there's my little circle. And I need to leave these stamps out because I am going to be using more than one of these. And I feel like I'm overworking myself by putting them away and getting them back out. Okay. There. Okay, now I can see your comments. Yay! At first I could not. Okay, so we're going to take this piece of Very Vanilla. And I don't know why, but I think my throat just went dry. I'm trying to look around here for a piece of candy. I must have eaten them all already. Because I don't see any mints or even a cough drop or anything down here. Oh, but I do see a water. Okay. All right, there, hopefully that will help. All right, so we put our glue on here, a thin line around the edge and a squiggle down the middle. And then we're gonna put this right in the center. And tonight we're using vanilla because that matches better with our designer series paper. At least for this first card. Okay, so let's recap real quick. So we had our designer series paper that was 4 1/4 by 11, and we scored it on each side at 2 3/4, and we can fold that in, and then our centerpiece in here is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and now we've got this little circle that's stamped, and I'm gonna actually put this on the inside of my card. I don't always put something on the inside, but I'm planning to. So I'm actually gonna sit it aside while I stamp the other parts, and then we'll come back to it in just a minute. All right, and then on our next biggest circle, this is not actually the next biggest in the set. That would be this one. Let's see. Okay. Let's go with this one that says, sometimes you just have to reheat your coffee one more time and try again. Okay, and I'm going to stamp that in Early Espresso. Now, if you're like me and sometimes you just want to sit down and make some really quick cards, it's really helpful if while you're not busy, like you can do this while you're watching TV, you can sit and cut out some of your shapes ahead of time. So I like to have little envelopes of very vanilla shapes and basic white shapes, circles and squares and banners. So those are things that I can sit and do while I'm watching TV. I can punch, I can color. So sometimes I'll have a little folder of stamped images that are ready to be colored. But that really helps me because my craft room is down in the basement. So sometimes I'll come down, I'll stamp a whole bunch of things, I'll punch a bunch of things out, and then I can go up and be watching a movie with my family, and I can die cut, or I can color, or but I can be participating in their fun while I'm crafting at the same time. Okay, so there are our two little sentiments. And then I have one more circle here. And this one I'm actually going to stamp in black because I am going to color it a little bit. And I like it best usually when my image is stamped in black. I think it kind of helps it stand out a little more. Okay, so now, I'm gonna tap my ink on my stamp this time. I know you see me do it both ways. Sometimes with a bigger stamp, it's a lot easier to do it this way. With this small stamp, I don't think it would matter if I tap the stamp on the ink or the ink on the stamp. Okay, so then we're gonna stamp these yummy little treats on our bigger circle, just like that. Okay, and then we'll do a little coloring. So I think I'll use some Stampin' Blends tonight. You know what? I wonder if our okay, so here we go. We're gonna color our little croissants, and I'm using ivory and bronze. So I'm gonna color my croissants in ivory. If you are looking for quick coloring tools, these Stampin' Blends are really great for that. And then we're going to color a little bit of our coffee. You know, that little swirly espresso part there in the middle. I have to tell you, my coffee rarely looks like that, but I do think it's really pretty when it does. Okay, and then I'm going to use the bronze, hopefully, for the coffee color. A little bit here in the middle too. Okay, and then I'm going to color my cups blue. This is the light Night of Navy. And I think it's going to match with the inside of our card, which is why I chose it. Oh, that color. And I do have blue coffee cups, so it's kind of like coloring my own cups, I guess. like sometimes I get a little quiet when I'm coloring. I'm concentrating, you know. I am coloring with the like the brush end of the marker tonight too. A lot of the time I will color with the marker end just because I'm not, this little brush end, the tip is so pointy. Can you see that? It kind of makes me feel like I'm gonna break it. And I know they're kind of delicate, so I try to be really careful. Okay, and then I have a dark Night of Navy over here. And I'm just going to use the marker end kind of along where I feel like a shadow would be, just to give my coloring a little depth. I'm trying to hold it still so I don't make a mess. Okay. So there are, okay, there's what I've colored so far, so you can see it. And I think I've told you before, but I love coloring. I could sit and color for hours, and I have been that way for a really long time. And I think you guys know that I love all crafts. Every single craft I've ever tried, I love. So far, the only one that I am unlikely to really pick up and start doing is tatting. And that I feel like is kind of a lost art. I don't know many people anymore who do that. Okay, so here is our little cup, and this, here is the inside of our card. And so next, I was going to use that early espresso, but I think we'll go with a Night of Navy. And I could be way off about this, but I really think this is going to turn out nice. Okay, and so we're going to cut this at 2 inches. All right, now I don't know if this is going to fit all the way around. I'm a little bit nervous about it. 2 by 11. I don't think that it is, but we will, we're going to work it out. Okay, so now this is our band that's going to go around our card. And I'm trying to get it here in the center. I wonder if I should do it this way. Oh, let's see. We scored the other at 2 3/4. So let's do that with this one too. So our piece of Night of Navy is 2 by 11 because I do not have any 12-inch Night of Navy. Although if we need to, we could probably use some off the back of our Designer Series paper. I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Okay, so let's try this though. Okay, so now that we've scored it, okay, and it doesn't quite go all the way around, and I think it's a little on the tight side. So let's try, let's see, I'm not excited about that. But I think that this might work. All right, so I'm gonna cut it, I'm actually gonna cut it like maybe 1.5 instead of 2. I think I like that. I'm glad you were watching for me, Janelle. That kind of makes me feel important. All right, let's see. Now, when we fold it, and we're gonna fold it not too tight because we want our band to slide. I don't want it to be too loose, but we don't want it to be too tight. Kind of like our pants, right? We don't want them to be too loose, but we don't want them to be too tight. All right, so that band is going to go around. So I'm just going to open that up, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on that edge. And a little tiny bit of glue on this side. Because they're going to cross over, but I want them to stay together where they meet. Okay. And then we're going to hold them together for a second. Okay. And then I think what I want to do is, let's see. I think that's quite big enough. I'm going to cut one more stylish shape, and I want it to be just bigger than a little, or do I want it to be a lot bigger? Okay, hold on. We got to try it out, right? If we don't try it, we will never know. All right, what if we make it that much bigger, and then our other circles can go on top? No, I think I want it to be just one smaller than this. So that would be like the second one in. I am going to use my stylish shapes. Oh, I knew I had them out. Okay, now if you don't have these stylish shapes, you're probably going to want them. Look at all these great shapes. Okay, so you get banners, squares, and circles. Right now, we want this second circle in. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my piece of Night of Navy down. I'm going to lay my circle on the top, and then I'm going to put my clear plate on top and run it through the die cutting machine. Now, I don't always show the die cutting machine on videos, but if you need to see a video that shows how to use them, let me know and I can point you in the right direction. Okay, so here is our Night of Navy circle. See, I think this is going to be really cute. Okay, where's, and this. And I still think we're going to put this one on the inside. What do you think? Should it go inside or should it go on the front? So then it's going to say, sometimes you have to reheat your coffee one more time and try again. And then we've got our little cups of coffee, and we've got a little, you've got this. Okay, so I think that, okay, now this one, I'm going to put on Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put 1, 2. I usually do 3 on a circle, unless it's like, if it was just this tiny circle, I would only use 1. All right, so, oh, I didn't think about that going off the edge. Hold on. I'm gonna have to try and peel that one off of that corner. Now, if you're really careful and these dimensionals aren't totally stuck down, you can move them around. All right, so I'm trying to make sure it's not gonna get stuck to my card front, because then my card would never open. Okay, there's that one. And then this one, we're gonna put up here. So I want it to be like 2 times higher. So here and here on the back, I'm gonna put my, look, I'm gonna line it up with this little circle here. Wait, let's see. I need them to be here and here. So I'm gonna put them right on my little grid paper so I know where my dimensionals are gonna go. And actually I'm gonna use these nice little ones. So we're gonna put them right on that line. And remember, we're gonna first ones. Not by a lot, just by a little. All right, so now we can put them right here. Let's see, let's make sure. Whew, that was just on the edge of that. Okay, so if we'd had it any higher, we would have stuck it to the card. Okay, so there is where we're at so far. And then our little band will slide off and our card will open. So on the inside, we're gonna put our little "You've Got This," and that we're just gonna stick down with one little glue dot. Okay, so we're gonna put our little "You've Got This" up here. I love that. I love, okay. So now we can slide our band back on. And of course, we need some sparkly gems, but our card is blue, right? And so, did you know that you can take these basic, and if you have a Stampin' Blend, you can color them. All right, so I'm gonna show you real quick. This is our Night of Navy, Dark Night of Navy Stampin' Blend. And we're just gonna take that and we're gonna color a few. Do you see how that's working? I hope you can see that. All right, see how blue that turned out? What do you, okay, I'm getting a little message that says audio is disconnecting. So I hope that you can still hear me. All right, what we were doing when that started, I was trying to show you how you can color your basic rhinestones using a Stampin' Blend. So I colored 3 already. I'll color 1 more because it looks like we're live now and hopefully you can see me. I'll color 2 more because we can't have even numbers of gems. Okay, so see how quickly and easily it is to color those? And now we are going to add them to the card. Okay, so let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. And we can add some of these beautiful blue sparkly gems. Okay, so I'm going to put one here. And over here. And up in the corner maybe. And let's do 2 down here. Okay. So there is our first card. You guys, isn't that so cool? Okay. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little too excited. I didn't expect it to turn out this cute. It's really cute. Okay, so then all we have to do is slide that band off. And there is our card. Isn't that cute? Okay. And now we are going to move on to our second card, the one that we're going to case tonight. Okay, and I will show it to you again. Let's put our extra very vanilla shapes away so that they will be ready for the next time we're working on a very vanilla card. So if you missed that, I was saying I like to cut my shapes while I'm sitting and watching TV, like very vanilla and basic white shapes. And then I put them in a little clear envelope. And when I'm designing cards, it can be a lot quicker to have them ready than to have to stop and cut out one shape at a time. Okay, so there are those. And now next, this is the card that we are going to case tonight. And this one is actually going to take us a little bit longer. I'm going to try to move through it kind of quick, but there's a lot of coloring on this one. And we're going to switch out this balmy blue for moody mauve. So we are going to get right to work. Okay, I'm going to leave this one up in the corner where it won't distract us. So first we need a piece of thick basic white, and this one is 8.5 by 11, so we're going to cut it at 5.5. And then we're going to score it at 4.25. So that part is pretty basic. You should be used to me designing cards like this by now. That is a really basic measurement. I try not to do too many complicated things at once. So sometimes I do over the top cards where it's a fun fold and there's a special technique and there's lots of coloring, but we are not doing that tonight. Okay, so there is our base, and then we need a piece of moody mauve. Oh, that's a card base already folded, so I'm not going to use that one. Let's go with that one. All right, and when you're casing a card, what you want to do is take the card and you want to copy the measurements. So our colored cardstock layer is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so we're going to cut our moody mauve at 5. And then we're going to turn it to the side and cut it at 3 3/4. All right, and then because we know the measurements for that, we can shrink down 1/8 of an inch and cut our next layer. Sorry, I'm dropping things on the ground behind me tonight. As you can see, I am almost out of basic white. I had an order coming on Tuesday, so hopefully it will get here in time. I still have a few more cards to cut for our class on Friday. Okay, so this is 4 7/8 that we're cutting. by 3 5/8. Now, if you're a little nervous about these measurements, don't worry. Oh gosh, sorry. I will be sending out the measurements in the PDF that goes out each week. Okay, so see how that fits right in there? Well, next we are going to emboss that. See how that background there is embossed? I use the Countryside Blossoms embossing folder. And when I emboss, this is just a little thing that I like to do. Not everybody does it. But I spray my piece of white cardstock with a thin mist of water. And I feel like for me that gives a better, kind of a deeper image without having to change my sandwich or anything. So I spray each side. I'm not going to spray it over my table. I always spray off to the side. But I'll spray this side and this side. Then I'll slide it in my embossing folder and run it through my machine. I'm still here. It just takes a minute. I don't want you to get don't think that I'm gone just because I'm quiet. I am over here just running things through the machine. Or because you don't see me. Or if you just pop in when I'm being quiet, you might not know that I'm busily working away over here. Okay, so here is our embossed cardstock. Isn't that cool? I really like this pattern. So there's that, and we're gonna layer it all together in just a minute. Okay, and then we need another piece of Moody Mauve, and so we're gonna measure again. And this piece is 2.5 by 2.5. Now it looks like a square, and so I could have just guessed that that second number was 2.5, but I always like to double check and make sure. I have made too many mistakes cutting my paper. You know what they say, measure twice, cut once. All right, so here is our 2.5-inch square. All right, and then we need a basic white square, and I had one right off to the side there. So this is, again, this is from that Stylish Shapes dies. If you don't have the Stylish Shapes dies, you really want to get those. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little trick. So we're going to add a little bit of sunshine here in the corner. This is my yellow blending brush, and I use it for all my shades of yellow. And today I've got Daffodil Delight here that we're going to use. Now, I wanted to show you a little bit about this, because if you take this blending brush and tap it in your ink and go straight to your paper and swirl, you're gonna get one dark spot and then kind of a halo around it. But if you do this and then tap a little bit on your grid paper before you swirl, then it doesn't seem like you're adding much ink at a time. You're actually not. but your ink will be much, let's see, I don't know how to describe it, but it won't be as choppy. Like, it's a much smoother addition of ink. You're adding little tiny layers at a time instead of a glob in the middle. I hope that makes sense. If what you want is a glob, then you are obviously free to do it the other way. Or if you just don't have the patience for adding small layers at a time. I really like the look better when I add little layers at a time. Okay, so there's kind of our little sunshine in the corner. Sunshine on our shoulders, right? That's what we like. Okay, so there's our little sunshine. Now we're gonna do something that that is really cool, but that a lot of people don't do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp on vellum and we're gonna color. So we need Stays On black ink instead of pimento. You know what? I'm going to move these right out of the way for now because I feel like they're just cluttering up our space. I'm going to move these. I don't feel like I'm very organized tonight, but that's probably the case all the time. Just tonight, I'm feeling it a little more than normal. Okay, so we're going to use this wheelbarrow here, just like I used in the first one. And I did case that card from another card off Pinterest. I couldn't tell you the name of the person right now that I cased it from, but I probably could find it if I go back and look. I know that I had a big acrylic block out. Sometimes I can't find where my stuff goes. Nope, that's not big enough. All right. We're going to use this really big one. Okay. And then with our Stays On ink, mine is pretty wet because I just re-inked it. But what I like to do is just set it on there and kind of move it around. I'm not pushing it down at all because it does have a lot of ink on it at this point. And so I'm just going to move it around until it looks like all my little flowers and all the little bits are nice and shiny. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to very carefully set it down and then press in the center. We want to keep our pressure really centered. We don't want to lean it to the sides. And then this is the image we get. Okay. And then I like to stamp that off, huff on it, and stamp it again before I clean my stamp because this ink will really stain your chamois and it will dirty up your Stampin' Scrub kind of fast. So if you can get a little bit of that extra ink off first, I feel like you're definitely better off. As you can see, mine is stained up and none of those stains will come off at this point. that I know of. In fact, one time I tried to put soap on it and I think that ruined my chamois, because every once in a while it will, now it will get a funny smell, but it never smelled funny before that. So just so you know, do not do that. Okay, and then to color it in, I don't know if you saw that or not, but I'm gonna turn it over. And what I know about that is that if you turn it over and you say you color on this line a little bit, if the ink's not totally dry, it's not gonna pick that ink up and smudge it into your color. So your colors are gonna be a lot more clear. And then I'll tell you what colors I am using tonight. So I've got, these are my Stampin' Blends, and I'm using Dark Night of Navy, Dark Mossy Meadow, Dark Basic Black, Light Basic Black, Dark Moody Mauve, and Dark Balmy Blue. And then this one is Dark Smoky Slate. So if you don't know, on the 14th, there's going to be a sale. These Stampin' Blends will be, hold on, I got to get my notes. They're going to be on sale though. So if you want to order some Stampin' Blends, they come in sets of 2, a dark and a light together. That would be the time to order them. All right, so first we're going to take our Moody Mauve, and I'm going to use the marker end, not the brush end. And I'm just going to color these little flowers over here. And I'm not coloring them in all the way. I'm kind of being squiggly about it. I don't know if that's a real word, squiggly, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm kind of coloring along the stamped parts, but not necessarily, I'm not just coloring over everything. Now, I don't know how much of that white space will stay, but I like to have a little white space in my coloring when I can. Okay, so there is our Moody Mauve. And next, I'm gonna do the Balmy Blue. And I'm gonna color these flowers here. They're a little bit bigger than the other ones. I don't know, maybe they're violets or pansies. I don't really know a lot about flowers, except that I like them. And I wish I could keep them alive a little bit longer. So we're gonna color those parts blue. Balmy blue. All right, and then I'm going to use my Mossy Meadow to color the leaves. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know it's a little longer than what my normal videos are. At least I feel like it is. Maybe it's not. But I also know that I'm not a super fast stamper. And I think if you go back and you watch the video later, so say you're a little tired of my coloring, watching all my coloring, you can go back and watch it on YouTube, and then you could speed me up if you want. You could see me like speed coloring. Okay, there's the Mossy Meadow, and then we're going to take this Dark Night of Navy, and we're just going to color in the space between those blue flowers at the bottom. I know that some of you have told me that you like watching coloring, that it's kind of therapeutic. That's how I feel about coloring itself, that it is therapeutic. Okay, so there are our main colors. Now we're going to take the dark basic black, and that's what we're going to color with next. We're going to color the handles of our wheelbarrow. And I'm going to color the tire. Left a little smudge there, but what's really nice about the fact that we're coloring on the back of our image is that when we get done and we turn it over, if it didn't blend as smooth, you're not going to notice it on the front side. Okay, and then I'm going to color the top edge here of our wheelbarrow. So that was our dark basic black. And then next we have the light basic black, and we're going to color our wheelbarrow here using that. I know that with our coloring last week we talked about being quick. It really does help. The vellum, you can color on with these Stampin' Blends. You cannot, however, color on it with the Stampin' Right markers. Well, you could, but it doesn't dry the same. So it's a little more complicated than using these. That's a little too much, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. All right, and then our last color is dark smoky slate. So we're gonna use that for the rest of the handles, the rest of the metal pieces. So the frame, I guess that would be. Okay, now, oh, I didn't tell you about this stamp set. So this stamp set is called Garden Meadow, and there is a die set that goes along with it. Look at that, it's really cute. But you will only find it online. So it's an online exclusive. If you want this stamp set, you have to type in Garden Meadow or go to the online exclusives link. Now, in the dies, these are really cool too. There is this really cool window shape. There's some grass, the watering can, a little shovel, some boots. Let's see. There's the little birds are in there. I think they're called guineas, but I'm not 100% sure. There's little flowers, the flower basket. But what we want right now is this, which is the wheelbarrow. All right, so now we're going to turn it back over. And we're going to set it on our embossing cutting plate. And we can line that up right with our wheelbarrow. This is so cool. I love to be able to color images and cut them out. All right, so now I'm just gonna very carefully, I don't think it's gonna move because it feels like there's extra static down here tonight, but it could shift and I don't want it to. Okay, and then I can just run that through. And look how pretty this is. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's so cute. All right. I really like this stamp set. I wanted it and I won it at an event, which was really extra cool. Okay. So now we're going to put that back away. And we're going to start putting our, oh, we need one more thing. We need our happy birthday. Okay. So here is our little happy birthday. I am going to be doing birthday cards for my class in December. So if you are ready to get ready for the new year, like I am, I always think I'm going to be better about sending out birthday cards. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. And so far, it hasn't really worked. And so this year, I am going to, in December, I know, it was the best. I was so excited about it. In December, I'm going to do a birthday card class. And I thought that will really get me ready for the new year. So I'll have my sample birthday cards, and then I can just make a whole bunch and fill out my birthday calendar, and I'll be ready. So if you are, if you're ready for that too, then I'll be having that birthday class the third Friday in December. It'll be all birthday cards. Sorry, I was reaching back behind me for my Mossy Meadow ink, and it was way farther than what I thought it was. Okay. So we're gonna tap, tap, tap our ink, and I'm gonna practice stamp. Even though I have stamped this one before, I always like to practice. Okay, and then we're just gonna stamp it here on the left. Okay, and I stamped that in Moody Mauve. I don't think I told you that, but I did stamp it in Moody Mauve. All right, so there is our happy birthday. I'm just gonna put this happy birthday away real quick. In that first stamp set, I actually won from a creative challenge I participated in. So both of the stamp sets that I made tonight were stamp sets I won. So that's really fun, and I hadn't even thought about that until now. Okay, so there is our happy birthday. I feel like I always need birthday cards. Okay, and let's get our card put together. Okay, so first what I like to do is put my layers together. So I'm going to turn over my embossed paper, and I'm going to add the liquid glue all around the edge. And I feel like I do add a little more liquid glue when I'm doing a piece of embossed paper, because I really want them to have the stability of that cardstock underneath, especially if it's basic white. See how it kind of, I don't know if you can tell, but see how it's kind of curved from being run through that embossing machine? It needs a little extra support after that, I feel like, to help it lay down flat. See, now if you look at it, I don't know if you can see that, but see how that edge pops up? So we're really gonna press it down and get it all the way around. Now, if you're using Stampin' Seal for your embossed layers, I would just try to make sure that you get all the way along each edge. When I'm not doing an embossed layer and I'm using the Stampin' Seal, then I'll just do like, you know, a little bit in each corner and usually a little in the middle, and it holds just fine. But I feel like once it's embossed, especially the Very Vanilla or the Basic White, it kind of curls a little bit. And that could be too because I put water on it. But I do like the look of that better. Okay, so then we're going to glue these together. And we're going to do a little glue around the edge and a squiggle in the middle. I'm curious to know if you've stamped on vellum before. So if you have stamped on vellum before, if you tried it out, would you say so in the comments? Just if you've tried it, if it went well, if you had concerns about it. I always like to know what other people are experiencing with their stamping. Okay, and this first layer, we're going to glue flat to our card. So again, we're doing a thin line of glue around the edge and a squiggle in the middle. Okay. And then we're just going to center that. And I made it so that we'll have a little bigger border this time. So we're just going to glue that down in the center. We can turn this over and add our Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm just going to put 4 on this time. I really like vellum too. I feel like it's something you have to be a little more careful with. But I have made some really pretty cards with vellum. All right, so we're gonna put our sun up in the corner. We're gonna kind of center that. And then we can put our wheelbarrow on. Now to put the wheelbarrow on, I'm gonna use my glue dots. So when I put these glue dots on here, I really like to tear them off and just press them down. And then it makes it really easy to peel that backing off. Sometimes I feel like the glue dots stick a little bit to the backing, but if I press them with my thumb, I feel like they don't. Oh, okay. I have heard a lot of people say that. They heat emboss it to set it. Okay, maybe I'll have to try that too. Just to see what the difference is. I'm sure I might have done it at some point in time, but I don't remember. That's terrible, isn't it? Okay, and then I'm just going to use some glue dots on here too, just because I feel like it's really easy to use these glue dots. So I can just line them up on the back, press them down. And I can stick that little sentiment right where I want it, up here in the corner. Okay, and then just like we did with the last card, let's use our Moody Mauve and we'll color a few of our gems. So I think, let's see, we'll just use these little ones for now. And this color is not quite as bright as the other one, but you can definitely see that they're pink instead of being white or clear, I guess, diamondy. right, so there is that. And I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool and add these little sparkly gems on here. Let's see, and I'm going to put one up here. I really love how you can color them, and you can make them any color that you desire. Let's see. And then I'm going to put two over here. Like that. Okay, so there is our second card for tonight. I will be working on the PDFs. I probably won't get it out until at least Wednesday. So here is the second card. And that's the one we cased it from right there. I just made this card yesterday, so it's not out of fashion yet. And here is our first card. This one is so cool. It turned out really cool. Okay, just like that. So I hope that you enjoyed tonight's class. Those are our two cards. If you want to get those cards, you have to place an order, and I will send you the kit to make them. Now, if you have all your own stuff, you are more than welcome to copy my designs and make your cards. I would love that. And if you would share them on my page, that would be really cool too. So I will be working on that tutorial, and I'll be getting ready for next week's Stampin' Sunday video. I hope that you'll be here and be stamping in the meantime and sharing. Stamp and share, stamp and share, stamp and share. That's the best. Okay, I do have a card class on Friday this week in my home at 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. We are going to be making Christmas cards. And I think I put them all away because I sat down on Saturday and I tried to cut everything I needed for everyone who's signed up. If you want to sign up for December's class, that will be in my email as well, the link for that. And that will be all birthday cards, but those designs are still in progress, so I'm not sure I'll have them ready in time for the email or not. I hope to see you next week. Until then, happy stamping.